I remember when I first met him, we went to the movies and got like coffee and stuff.
Yeah.
I knew what he looked like because I had swiped right on his picture.
Obviously.
But I remember walking around and we were holding hands, I think. And I felt so secure in that moment because I was like, I'm just this little baby next to him.
I'm so small. I'm just so tiny.
I'm just a little girl. You can take care of me.
Yeah.
You can beat up all the bad guys.
Yes.
You
And
got big hands.
I felt so safe and so protected in that moment that I was like, I think I like this.
Girl, it's something else, man.
It's different.
I immediately go,
I could be a housewife.
Robin. Put the face on.
Yeah.
Good
Random.
morning.
Good morning.
ladies.
It's love month, y'all.
We love
We
to
love
see
love.
it.
We love love.
I have my wed cup.
Red cup, red suit. If you're not watching on YouTube, why not? We're more entertaining on there. Not really. I think we're pretty entertaining via audio,
Yeah.
but we love to give you something to watch too.
Yeah. And especially when we're referencing things that we do have visual aids for.
Yeah.
You got to be on YouTube.
Love you,
So.
YouTube.
Loves you.
So because this is Love Month, this episode launches February 5th, so right in the beginning,
Yeah.
I thought it would be a blast to talk about marriage.
Marriage.
I hated that show.
Yeah.
Marriage
I never watched it.
is what brings us together today. 2 out of 3 of us are married.
Yeah.
And we thought it'd be fun for Halsey to interview us. So to kick off our Love Month episode, I have a question for the both of you.
Oh. I'm nervous.
Surprise.
Surprise.
What is the worst kiss you ever had, and why was it the worst? I'll go first.
Oh.
I instantly thought of mine.
I know, because it's just one of those things that you usually have a pretty quick reference to. And if you don't, that's okay. Because, you know, some people have good kisses all the time. I did not. Okay. Seattle. It's 2016-ish. I had gone on many a date because I went to Seattle and I said, I'm going to find me a husband. And I did eventually.
Yeah.
But boy, did I have to kiss some frogs or giraffes. Now, here's the thing. This guy was very sweet. We went on 2 dates. The first date, so fun. The most typical Seattle date. We drove around the city. We got a cocktail at a really cool bar. He was very nice. Tall, a little on the, big dude scale because I'm a big dude loving girl.
Yeah.
And just very sweet. He was a security guard and just kind of finding himself. He lived south of the city. That is key.
Okay.
Okay. He had this really cool old Ford truck. I did love that about him. And he drove me home from our date. And we kind of sat, my aunt and uncle live on top of Queen Anne Hill in Seattle. And if you park on the other side of their house, pointing down towards Fremont, you get to the whole view of Fremont, which is
beautiful.
so cool.
Yeah.
And very much an epic view because there is no, you can only go to that place to see that view. So we're sitting there chit-chatting, didn't kiss him then. Went home, gave him a little hug, but walked right back home. Maybe a week later, we go on date 2, maybe less than a week. Okay. I can't believe I'm telling you the story. I was nice and said, I still had my car at this point because I kept my car for the first year or so in Seattle.
Yeah.
I went south of the city to go meet him. Now, I am a snob. We know this.
We noticed.
We know. Hello, look at me.
Just wearing full satin.
Full
jumpsuit.
satin right now. Red satin. He lived in Kent, which is where I had my first job in Seattle. Now, Kent is...
God, even I know that's not a good thing.
I know. It's the working class neighborhood, which is not a problem.
Yeah.
But questionable restaurant choices were made. We went to a Thai place. Questionable Thai food was had. And within an hour of having said Thai food, I knew I needed to go home. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. So he had driven us from his apartment. I met him at his apartment. Didn't go in yet. Just went straight into the truck.
Mhm.
Drove to the restaurant. Got back. The date was fine. We didn't really have a lot of conversational chemistry in date 2. That kind of happens. You run out of stuff in date 1 and just, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's fine. He could be a friend, right? Well, friend wanted me to come see his apartment where he had 3 other roommates.
Okay.
Yep. So that was a choice. Then I went into bedroom. Bed was on floor, black sheets, black comforter, black pillows. Because why? A man. All the anime all over the walls. Figurines everywhere. And again, I'm thinking, it's fine. People have their shtick, their likes and dislikes. Mine, not that.
Anime, ferrets.
I sat on the bed for maybe 5 minutes. He was showing me anime things, and I was like, gotta go. I have to work tomorrow.
No.
It was definitely Saturday the next day. Did not have to work tomorrow, but I gotta go. He walked me to my car, so sweet. Opens my door for me, and I get in the car, shut the door, and he's like, roll down the window.
Oh, no.
No.
Roll down the window.
No.
And I was like, okay. I roll down the window. What proceeds is, have you ever fed a giraffe at a zoo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever put the cracker in your mouth? And
No, I
fed
have
it?
not, because I have this thing about my face. I don't want things touching my face that I have not invited, And
Understandable.
A giraffe tongue, not one I want to invite to my face.
Yeah.
But what proceeded was the most licktastic kiss. He greeted my face with tongue first, and then slathered it around my lips.
Oh.
And I was like, I literally reacted like, what? And I was like, let's try that again. He's like, absolutely.
More
Goes in.
tongue. No.
More tongue.
No.
And I pulled away and I said, listen, I gotta go. I have work tomorrow. And rolled up my window as he's like, okay,
Oh, no.
have a great night. So happy with himself. And I said in my brain, sir, absolutely not.
No.
Drove away laughing the entire time until I hit the freeway and I could go into Seattle, and then I just start crying.
Oh, no.
So I was like traumatized. Woke up with a bit of a rash, not gonna lie to you, around my mouth. Grossed me out so much that I ghosted the absolute crap out of him. I'm so sorry. I don't even remember your name, but boy, do I remember your tongue. It was wild. Kelli, bad kisses?
I was having a hard time thinking of one.
That's a good thing, though.
However,
Oh, it came.
I'll be completely honest, inebriated at the moment of this time.
Yeah.
There was someone within our friend group that
Not current.
no, not
Okay.
my friend group that I hung out with
Yeah.
in college. I
Okay.
was of age,
Okay. To drink.
I think. Yeah.
She's like, wait, was I?
Think about that. For a
I was
second.
21,
Okay,
I
yeah.
think. Had to have
Senior in
been.
college.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been pre-Jansen.
Not important. Age
Anyways.
is not time. Whatever. I
You
was
were
in
drinking.
college. Yeah. And I was making out with this person in the dark. I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that he was really going everywhere.
Yeah.
The amount of hickeys that I
Yeah.
had.
What is
Like on
Yeah.
your actual face or your neck? All over.
All over.
Yeah.
She's like, all over.
And I
Yeah.
intoxicated. He then is like, I'm gonna go home now, and then leaves because we were like staying at someone's house
Yeah.
for the night. And I think maybe Leanne came in and was like,
Oh.
she's like, we gotta do something about this because they were dark
Immediately?
immediately.
What a move.
Yeah, and they were everywhere, and it was like end of summer, so like still really hot. I was just on the edge of like I could maybe get away with wearing a scarf,
Yeah.
but I need something to cover my neck because I cannot let anyone see how covered
eviscerated.
Like you've been attacked by leeches.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Been there.
Everywhere.
How
And
long
they-
was the makeout sesh? Like 20-ish minutes? More?
It was
It was a
we
while.
were there for a while.
Which is fine.
But-
that sounds fun.
Those are fun sometimes.
But
Yeah.
he had a larger mouth than some people, and so it just
Dang.
was a lot and then a lot.
Did he have scruff too? Or
No.
baby face? Okay, some positives. Because
You-
that
you
could have
went
been
Bass
hickeys
Pro
and...
Shop on you.
Ew.
God, sorry,
It
that
was
a terrible
just
noise.
it was a
rough.
time and a half. And
Oh
I
my
never thought of him in that way. I
Right.
never
Um,
was
You're inebriated.
interested in him, and we were both just there. So
mhm.
I've definitely had those kisses.
Yep.
Yeah. Good
So,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was
How long did it take for them to go away?
about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
They were
Dang.
very dark.
Yeah.
That's a number. Shoot.
Yeah, and at that point too, like I got up, came out of the room, and was like, and Leanne was like, oh, and we're like, how do we get them to like simmer down? Like,
Cold spoon.
yeah,
And you rub.
how do I put a cold spoon over my entire body? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I need a whole drawer of spoons. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right? Oh
You
my
get a
gosh.
It
cold
was-
spoon and you like twist it, the back of the spoon onto your skin. You,
Interesting.
like rub it. It
yeah.
helps break
I-
up the like
blood
blood
vessels.
vessels or whatever.
I've only had one hickey and I asked for it.
Mm.
So
Ugh, I did not ask for that, and I don't think I like was paying enough attention to be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, you're like maybe hurting me a little bit with how
Yeah.
hard you're
ew.
sucking.
Mm.
Yeah.
Why do they think that's sexy too?
I don't know.
It's a marking thing. It's
But that much? Man, that's a kink that I do not understand.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the
So
kiss
my
itself,
one
fine.
of my worst dates ever was also one of my worst kisses. Again, this is when I was still dating men. It's just a lot of choices were being made. He first of all on this date, I was still wearing a purity ring. That's how long ago this was.
Oh, no.
I think I was 21,
Yeah.
maybe. I had moved home from Washington.
Yeah.
So I was around 21.
You wore a purity ring in Washington?
Yeah. I
That's
was
great.
still wearing it until around then, about 21 is when I finally stopped wearing it as a purity ring, and then it was just a ring.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So we were in downtown Phoenix. I had created like a routine. I used to go on the same date with everyone
I did too.
because it was like a good date.
Yeah.
We would go to Angel's Trumpet,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a brewery in downtown Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
They have decent food, great beers, all very local.
Do they have a TV dinner situation at Angel's Trumpet on certain nights with Pop-Tarts? Am I making that up?
I don't know.
Okay, never mind.
It's been too long since I've been. 'Cause
Okay, yeah, yeah.
after this date, I stopped going on
You're
this
like,
date.
never again.
Because two things happened.
Oh, no.
One, I saw someone that I had taken on this date
Oh, no.
at part two. Because so part one of the date would be Angel's Trumpet. And
Yeah.
then part two of the date would be going across the street to Cobra. There's an arcade bar in Phoenix. Super fun spot. Except for I kept showing it to different men. And
Oh, no.
so on this date, I saw a guy that I had been on
Whoopsies.
at
Like,
that bar. So
hi.
that was a
Strike
little
number
rough.
one.
Yeah.
Like, and we like fully made eye contact. And I was just like,
no.
and this was definitely someone I had fully ghosted, and because I got really good at that.
'Cause she was a lesbian.
Lesbian dating men. So we like halfway through dinner, he's drunk.
Yeah.
Like pretty far, and a girl who was sitting next to us is a girl I went to high school with.
Yeah.
She was so off put by him, she DM'd me on Facebook and was like, "You good?"
Oh.
Because I'm getting weird vibes from this date.
Ooh.
And I was like, at that point, one, a little naive, but two,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I just wanted to be wanted.
Sure.
Yeah.
And also, it was a free dinner. And I was broke.
Listen, we've all been there
Yeah.
before.
All been there.
Yeah. So he got really weird about my purity ring. like real gross about it. And then we went to Cobra, and by then I finally had enough of a drinks. To make out with him in the middle of the dance floor of Cobra.
Oh.
After kicking his butt at some Mortal Kombat, and I felt really proud of myself because
Sure.
that was also one of my moves. I was like pretty decent at that game, and so I would be like,
Can you help me with this game? I just learned it. I want to try it out with you.
and then would beat the
Absolutely. Okay, but so you're
so the
making out
kiss-
on the dance floor. That's
Yes.
ballsy, first of all.
except for he is sticking his entire tongue
Why is that always
down
the tongue?
my throat, and
Yeah.
it's so wet.
Is there like
There's
a drool situation?
Again, like you
Sick.
said, wiping my face
Yeah.
after. Like there was just so much. It's like that scene in She's the Man where she's describing his his saliva issues. It was literally that.
Oh no.
Was he taller than you too?
Yeah.
So it's like the saliva is just like dripping down on
But
top
he
of
was
you.
kind of barely taller than me. And
Yeah.
then, so at that point, I'm sobering up because I'm like, I need to get out of this situation.
I
Because you're
need to
being
go
hydrated.
home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm literally
Thank you.
being rehydrated. Thank you so much.
like a bird.
But he evidently vibing wants to continue.
Oh.
So we moved to a third place, which is this like random mariachi taco bar that was like near, that was also like in that same little area.
Yeah.
We go there. He proceeds to continue drinking.
Okay.
At this point, I'm like, how is he not blacked out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe he was.
Yeah.
Then I'm trying to just walk us back to my car so that I can leave.
Yes.
And he drove himself, so I'm
Shut up.
it's not my job to like get you to figure yourself out, and hopefully you don't decide to drive right now. And he lived nearby-ish anyways. But I was just trying to get out of the situation like in one piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
He kept stopping us every like 5 feet to start making out again.
No.
And at that point I was like, good night.
Like, this is my car.
This is literally, I was like, if I can just get us to my car. And then I was also like, okay, I need to, like, I was pretty sober by that point, but I was like, so I sat there for an hour in my car to just like make sure I was good to drive.
That's good.
Yeah.
Smart.
Because I'm not gonna risk my life
Responsible
and other
adult.
people and being a responsible adult.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I'm just sitting in downtown Phoenix for an hour in my car, like thinking up my life choices.
What did I do to get myself
did
here?
I do to get
We
here?
get here. Hilarious.
Oh man.
Love it. Thank you for your kisses.
We
You're
love it.
welcome.
Love to see it.
Next, Happies and Crappies. Well,
Are you going first?
I'm going first. Look, I
Oh,
have lots
geez.
of crappies, guys.
Wow.
I'm not going to read all these. We'll just go through them. So the episode that I cried in last, it hasn't aired yet, but here's the universe being kind to me.
Mhm.
Within 2 days of us filming that, me going back home, I had 2 new business emails.
Awesome.
One that I
Yeah.
met with this last week and just sent over an a la carte menu of services to her yesterday.
Mhm.
And then one I'm meeting with next Wednesday that I've actually already done work for. They haven't paid me. So there's that. But they kind of want to pay me now. So I'm willing to talk to them because I like money.
Yeah.
Just positive movements of the universe saying, I got you. It sucks, but we can do this.
Yeah.
So hopefully something in the next Happies and Crappies, I'll have good updates for you. But that just felt good because it wasn't like they heard the episode and said, oh, we can work with Bailey. Like she's desperate. It was just the universe saying,
Yeah.
I got you. I also had a really great meeting with Beck, our podcast coach.
Beck. We love Beck.
They say, hey.
Beck's awesome.
Hey.
Very proud of us that we have gotten this far still, blowing their minds that this is episode 18, y'all. We have 3 to go by the end of the season and just a huge accomplishment and one we should honor. They're very curious about our structure of the company. They just did not understand how we were putting out so much content because they hadn't heard the podcast yet, but then all of a sudden they started seeing our stuff finally in their FYP. So most of their questions were about, how do you guys edit? Like, what's your process? I said, well, we have a project management system that we utilize called Asana. And we have treated this as much like a company that I possibly could do to my own family. And we have a system, and I watched them through the system, blew their minds. They were like,
awesome.
I have never seen someone this early in the game take on this process and really put a method to it, and it shows. I was like, yes,
and get it.
Yeah. So that felt good. James and I have been finding a love for cooking and baking. As we speak, he's creating his first sourdough starter that he nourishes every night at 6 p.m. And it's just been so fun to be connected in the kitchen and watch him love cooking and just seeking joy in making each other happy with delicious things.
Yeah.
It's just, the simple things in life. And we've always liked cooking together, but the last kitchen that we had was not conducive to making lots of good foods. It was only conducive to making meal prep, basically. It was not the greatest of kitchens. But the one that we're in now, while it's smaller, so we trade off. He'll do a dinner and meal prep, and then I'll do lunches and breakfast or something like that. Or he'll do his breakfast and I'll do tiramisu, whatever we're feeling. But been so fun to, one, not eat out. We've barely been eating out. Kelly and I had Tokyo Joe's the other night. That was the first time I'd had Tokyo since the last time I was out for Pod Weekend.
Yeah.
That I ate out. So that's been fun. And
Love that.
the last two, I had the opportunity to catch up with two good friends, Amy and Bree. I'm going to talk about my Amy catch up when we do Renaissance resolutions, because her and my catch up was really tied to writing, but kismetally so, as usual. Like, neither of us had been talking about it, and she hadn't heard our resolutions yet. She was like towards the end of that episode. So it just happened that we're both starting to write again, or write at all. And I'll talk about that more. And then Bree and I got to connect over Iron Flame, which I will give in my book club update because I finished it. Da-da-da! My only crappy is really just this. The unknowns about the next year are plaguing me. And I watch our insights, one could say, obsessively. And I do feel as if my reactions are very tied to how well insights are going. And when they're not going fantastic, which is the nature of the internet, I immediately go into this mindset of, what the heck am I doing? I have no plan. However, I was talking to Helen about this.
Shout out
Helen, my nutrition coach.
All the shout outs this episode. We love it.
I'm trying to share the love, She is a Libra. I don't think I've ever told you that.
Helen.
Do you know who else is a double Libra?
Oh.
Found out this week.
Who?
Josh Hutcherson.
That checks. Yeah, actually. She turned 30 this October. And she sent me this
We're
text.
the same age?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
She sent me this text because she thought she was coming out of a manic episode, but really what she was coming into was just a realization of being 30. And said, she said, it's so hard to describe. I just feel like settled down, very much different. I don't desire as much as I feel more simple in what I want. Like her decision makings have simplified drastically just since she turned 30. But like, I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of clarity in a lot of areas. It's very confusing. And I said, actually, completely understand that feeling. I said, do you feel like you're younger than you thought you were and that you actually have time to do the things that you want to do with your life? She's like, yes, exactly. I've also been making a ton of friends when I'm out at the gym or whatever. Like, people are approaching me and striking up conversations out of nowhere, and I'm being open to it. Whereas before she just wasn't. She was very much in this mindset of, I've chosen my people. Those are my people. No one else can come into my world. Yeah. And now her brain is saying, actually, you can open up and see what else is there. She said, I don't feel like I'm rushing or panicking to do things anymore. A couple of months ago, I was really antsy and feeling like I was rushing to get back on stage for bodybuilding. She's a bodybuilder. But last night I told Lauren, her fiance, that I'm in no rush. I'm not worried about when I get back onto the stage. I'm just worried about taking care of other things and taking care of myself, which is very weird to me because she's one of those people, especially as a bodybuilder, that will just punish her body because she wants to get to the finish line, not realizing that she's only 30 and her coaches are in their 40s and almost 50s, you know, and they're still working out. They're still putting their body through that and they're still winning things. So there's this switch that happens though at 30 that I have never fully recognized, that I do have more time. I feel so much younger than what people told me I would feel like at 30. And I have so much time left to build something.
Can't wait.
I know, truly, it is a very good feeling. And I just loved hearing that from her and connecting with another 30-year-old of like, actually, yes, it is real. It's not this weird manic episode. Like you don't need to take away your antidepressants. Keep taking your antidepressants.
Oh my God. Please keep taking your antidepressants.
But it is such a good feeling. I don't know. It is this like refreshing, freeing process. Awesome. I like it. Does that resonate at all for you, Kelli?
Yes and no, because I feel like that's something I've been battling a lot, to be honest.
Okay.
Of like, you're 30 years old. Like,
what are you doing?
Do you really think you can start something new? Has been like the fight in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I always thought I was going to die young. And
How Marilyn Monroe of you.
I know. And so I never ever pictured my life at 30, 40, 50. Like,
wow.
So then I'm like, well, is it even worth, it's just me fighting myself. Is it even worth putting in the effort? Because like you're already 30. So like,
but you got like
roll over
another 50 years.
Exactly.
I know, which is crazy. Like I'm not even halfway through my life. So I have to remind myself. But then I think I compare myself to all these people that just pop off in their late teens, early 20s. And I'm like, well, that wasn't me. So it can't be me.
Totally.
But like, why?
Why not?
I just said like a lot of time. Sorry, guys.
I did totally okay.
Totally fine.
But so true. I feel this is early. Her just turning 30 and coming to this realization. I think that's super fast. I honestly didn't come to this realization until like 33. Right before I got married. I realized, oh my gosh, I actually could start something now. Because the mindset that I think you will start to shift towards is, if I don't do it, then what else am I doing for the rest of my life? I can't keep doing this. The agency world. I couldn't imagine myself continuously pouring into a poisonous industry and a poisonous company for the next 30 years. Yeah. Absolutely not. So anything is better than that. I would rather start at zero and do something that I actually love and kind of let the fates happen.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I think part of it too is with me being this age. Yeah. I think it could have happened earlier. Sure. And I'm hopeful for success. And then I'm almost mad at myself that I'm older and I'm not going to get to enjoy it for as long. Is that dumb?
No, it's not dumb.
I feel that.
Yeah.
So, then I'm like, what's the point?
It's not dumb. That's very valid. I validate that feeling for you. Absolutely. But I feel that way about James. It makes me mad that we didn't meet 10 years prior, but if we would never have met 10 years prior. We met at the time that we were supposed to meet. Yeah. I truly think that 10 years ago, if we tried to do something like this, it would have blown up in our faces because we didn't really know each other yet. We hadn't established time spent as family, and we were very different people. I do think that doing a project like this and building a company at our ages will benefit us more than we realize. Just right now, it feels so slow that it's hard to imagine what it can be eventually.
But we're hopeful.
Yeah.
I feel that with like my friendships, especially my current little group. Yeah. With Allison and Kate, meeting them in the last 2 years. Yeah. Especially with like maybe Allison more because we live in the same city. Kate lives down in Tucson, but with those friendships, we talk about all the time. I'm like, oh, I wish I had met you sooner. Yeah. I wish I could have had you in my life longer. It's that like that FOMO almost. Yeah. Of, oh, I wanted this for so long.
Yeah.
And now that we have it, it's so great.
Yeah.
So.
And then your mind's just playing tricks on you, though, because you want to enjoy it now that you have it, but your mind's like, well, you could have had it longer, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Or
don't ruin
lose
it.
I know.
Yeah.
Or don't lose it. Don't jinx it.
Yeah.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
You got some happies and clappies?
Yeah.
Were you done?
I'm done.
Okay. Mine is short. Because I feel like I haven't had too much crappy happen on in my life these days.
Don't want those crappies happening on.
The only crappy that I could really think of was in the past few days, my lower back has been really sore. And it just kind of comes and goes.
Yeah.
And really, I think it's because I have been somewhat very sedentary recently. And I know I need to be moving my body. And I know that helps. But when you're in pain.
It's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, but I know if I keep walking, it's going to work itself out and I'm going to feel so much better. But it's just getting to that point of move your body.
Yeah. Get
So,
on that walking pad, girl.
I've been a little just in my seat lately. But that I feel like has been the only crappy thing that has really happened in the past few weeks. So
we'll take it.
Feeling good otherwise. My other happies are my eyes.
Her eyes are happy now.
Yay. Yeah, so I got the final okay from my doctor to taper off the steroids. I'm very excited about that because they taste disgusting.
Because we forget that that's all connected.
Yeah.
All those little things.
It's why there's a ENT doctor, ear, nose, throat doctors.
You can
it's
just
all connected.
Feel it.
Sick.
Go down.
She always has these moments where I watch her, she's over there going, and then she just goes, my eyes taste bad. Like, what?
Not something you ever want to experience.
No,
but
absolutely not.
But yeah, I got the okay.
Yay.
I got a new glasses prescription, so I have new glasses coming.
I know you modeled your new glass photos for me yesterday.
Yeah.
So cute.
Which ones did you go with, the blue or the pink?
I went with the blue.
I liked the blue.
And then I got a second pair that are not clear, but a very light gray. Ooh. And they have metal sides, which I haven't done a metal plastic frame, but metal sides.
Cool.
The doctor office people were saying that those should be my going out glasses because they're a little bit more fancy.
So fancy. I love it.
So
Friday night glasses.
Yeah, so watch out. I've never had more than one pair of glasses at a time though, so
ballin'.
I'm very excited about that.
I want to try those ones, the pear ones.
Oh yeah, I've seen
they're
those
all over Instagram.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Fun.
Have a million.
That's so fun.
Yeah, and then my other happy, I kind of mentioned this last night, but I love award season and movies. Not so much the Grammys because I'm not as into music as I am.
See, the Grammys is the only one I care about.
Because the Grammys is entertaining AF.
Yeah.
I don't ever really watch the Grammys
because you get the performances.
Yeah,
I watch all the other ones.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
So I'm very excited that the award season is amongst us.
Yeah. And our faves have been sweeping.
Yes.
Killing
the
it.
Emmys, I did watch the Emmys and they were
Jeremy Allen White.
So good.
Yeah.
I really liked them this year and I'm excited for the Oscars.
Me too.
Because there's a nostalgic form of it or reason behind, I think, why I love it so much because we always had parties growing up.
Yeah.
For the Oscars and my family would go all out.
Cute.
My parents would get like a little red carpet and when people would come in, my dad would be interviewing, who are you wearing today?
I love that
like
so
checking
much.
the tag. He's like, Old Navy, wow.
On clearance.
Your dad is so camp.
He
is. And I
is.
love it.
All the
so funny.
Yeah, and all the food would be themed to what the best picture movies were nominated for.
up.
So
that's awesome.
I remember when the Titanic was up for nomination, we did like a Jell-O situation with a ship.
Oh my gosh.
There was one where there was a movie about, maybe it was Ray.
Yeah.
And we made a piano out of chocolate with like the keys of white chocolate and like milk chocolate being the keys.
Gosh.
So every year we had themed snacks and
If social media had been a thing back then, your dad would have been the best blogger.
yeah, honestly.
Instagram dad to the max.
Everyone would get a sheet with all of the nominations and you would put your guesses in and then at the end there were prizes for whoever won. I brought it to college with me. We would go to Harkins and buy the big bags of popcorn and get like snacks and everything, and I bought rewards or winnings for people because I made them play with me.
So cute.
I love it. We
did that for the Grammys.
I used to throw Grammy parties when I got into my first apartment and would invite all my girlfriends and family that were girls. And we'd have Grammy parties. I'd make Grammy foods. We'd have predictions and prizes for people who got the most. But
whoever got the most right always got the Grammy CD because they do a CD every year.
Oh,
or they used to. I don't know if they still do it.
They probably do.
With all of the top nominated. They do like a compilation album.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Super fun.
Yeah. I have a friend who every year will, after the nominations are announced, will watch all the Best Picture nominations.
Yeah.
I tried, but
Yeah.
they're more artistic sometimes than what I'm really into.
Yeah.
But every year I'm like, this is going to be the year I'm going to watch all of the nominations.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see.
I think this year Barbie's going to sweep at the Oscars.
As it should.
And if she doesn't, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Because the moment at the Emmys or the Critics' Choice with Ryan Gosling and Mark Mayer, what is his name? Who cares? They won I'm Just Ken at Critics' Choice. The face that he's making was just like,
I'm going to have to perform this.
But also,
that's what I said.
all of my side of TikTok is saying he's commiserating.
Yeah.
That why the fuck did we just win when I'm sitting next to Billie Eilish, who literally taught herself for 6 months how to do the pitch that she does in that song because she's never been able to do it before, and wrote that song from the depths of her soul with her brother. And the whole song is about Barbie and women and finding yourself.
Yeah. And what are you made for?
And what are you made for? And I'm Just Ken won.
Yeah.
Absolutely
That
insane.
whole show was a hot mess.
I did not watch the Critic Choice.
It was awful.
Critics' Choice is always a mess, but the
Emmys were great.
The Emmys were great.
Good.
And is it Ayo? Yeah,
Ayo.
Obsessed with her. Obsessed with her.
Love.
Yeah. Her speech, because of the whole Irish joke that's going around about her, where she said Ireland in many ways of like where she's from.
Yeah.
Love her. The clip of her realizing that she got foundation all over what's his face's jacket.
Oh, Jeremy Allen, yeah.
Because he's wearing a white
I saw
tuxedo
that
jacket, and
They
her
hugged.
foundation was on his entire shoulder.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love watching her watch him accept his Emmy.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
So
I just
sweet.
love them together
Yeah.
Their
as
friendship.
co-workers. But they're going to have to bang in season 2. So
3.
get ready.
I also loved her moment with from Pride and Prejudice and Succession.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Mr. Darcy.
Mr. Darcy. I don't remember his real
She
name.
told him the story about how she got grounded when she was a teenager because she had his picture from Pride and Prejudice as her screensaver on her laptop.
Yeah. No.
And her dad was like, who is this man?
Yeah.
And she got grounded.
Yeah.
And he totally, absolutely knew that it's the scene of him walking through the field in the coat.
As it should be.
Yeah. Because the coat in that scene is the main character.
When James just started watching, or he's on season 3 of Succession, he's been binging it.
Mm-hmm.
When he started it, I said, you know, Mr. Darcy's in this show. He said, really? I said, yeah. Can you tell which one he is? He's like, I literally can't.
No.
Like, I know who he looks.
Yeah.
I know what Mr. Darcy looks like. He's not in this show. So I pulled up Tom.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Darcy side by sides. Blew his mind. He's like, that's not the
It's
same
crazy.
person.
It does, like, he
looks nothing like him.
Because he does both periods
I know.
so well. I've literally never seen a full episode of Succession. I've only seen
It's
clips
modern
on
day.
TikTok.
But
I know.
yes.
But no, seeing the side by sides is bonkers.
Insane. So award season. Happies
Yeah.
and Crappies. Halsey.
That's it.
Hello, my happies and crappies are even quicker.
Oh.
My crappy is that my brain was just not nice to me for like the last 2 weeks. It just wasn't a fun time to be in my head. Just wasn't. I felt very disassociated out of my body for quite a few days. Yeah, just wasn't feeling great. I wasn't getting good rest, and so I wasn't getting opportunities to like reset my brain.
Yeah.
But I feel better, feel a bit more refreshed. I got my nails did, which I haven't gotten them done in like 6 months, 7 months.
And they're so cute.
They're so cute. Shout out to Leanne because I went to her friend / nail girl, Nicole.
Shout out Nicole.
Shout out Nicole. She's great. She's so sweet. She's a darling. And then I got my hair cut.
You did. I like it a lot.
And that also helped me feel like back in my body a little bit.
Yeah.
I need a
reset.
haircut.
Same.
Yeah. Got rid of the bangs. Well, I mean, they're still kind of there, but
They're swoopy.
They're more swoopy now. But
Yeah.
So feeling better, feeling more in my body again.
Grounded.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. You were right. They were fast.
Yeah.
Okay. It's time for the pin thread of the episode. And as I mentioned at the top of the episode, we are talking about marriage today because 2 out of 3 of us are married. But the reason I wanted to talk about marriage is Kelli will be celebrating 7 years of marriage in April, and that's coming up fast. And then I will be celebrating a year of marriage in a matter of months, like 2 months. That went so fast.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be fun to do a little retrospective about your last 7 years, almost 10 years together. And then my anniversary for dating is the same week as my anniversary of marriage. So we'll have been together 5 years in March, which is wild to me. But Halsey's going to take it over, the hosting duties, and ask us some questions about ourselves.
Button my blazer. I'm just kidding.
I'm professional.
I'm professional. So when you dreamt about your future person in your teens or early 20s, did your imagination become reality? Or is your person different than who you thought you'd marry?
I want you to answer this first if you can.
Okay. So physically,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I'm so sorry. Anyone that I was attracted to, talked to, dated, even scrawny little emo.
No.
They were lengthy as all hell. Boys.
Yeah.
And
like you can break him like a twig.
yes.
Oh my gosh, how weird. I cannot picture that for you.
So yeah, they were always like, for the most part, just like really lengthy and scrawny.
funny.
And
Lanky little dumbies.
Jansen is not that.
No.
But he's a man. Yeah. So in no way, shape, or form physically was Jansen. He was a happy surprise.
Love that.
So
You're like, oh, wait, maybe I do like him tall and muscly.
yeah. Well, because also I remember when I first met him, we went to the movies and got like coffee and stuff.
Yeah.
I knew what he looked like because I had swiped right on his picture.
Obviously.
But I remember walking around and we were holding hands, I think. And I felt so secure in that moment because I was like, I'm just this little baby next to him.
I'm so small. I'm just so tiny.
Me just a little girl. You can take care of me.
Yeah.
You can beat up all the bad guys.
Yes.
You
And
got
I
big
felt,
hands.
I felt so safe and so protected
Yeah.
in that moment that I was like, I think I like this.
Girl, it's something else, man.
It's different.
I immediately go,
I could be a housewife.
do you want me barefoot and pregnant? No? Okay, that's fine.
Cause same.
Sandwiches? You got it.
I'll make a damn good sandwich, you know?
You both
Yeah.
do.
Thank you.
So he was
How
not
funny.
at all what I
Did
had
you ever-
pictured for
sorry.
myself.
Did you ever make a list? Like as a teenager,
quality
did you ever
list?
write
Of
like
physical qualities or of like emotional?
emotional both, yeah.
Personality.
So I don't physically know. I just think I was attracted to that type of person before. And I never really put much thought into what my person would end up looking like because it didn't matter
Yeah.
really. But I was trying to think if I had ever made a list of emotional characteristics or personality traits. And I feel like it was ever evolving. Is that the right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I
No,
questioned
you're good.
myself.
You're good.
I thought when I was younger, I was pretty convinced I would marry someone within the church.
Yeah.
And that would be an important piece of them.
Yeah.
And as I grew up, it became a little bit less important to me. But things that always stuck around was I wanted someone who could make me laugh. I feel like that was always the first thing on my list, was
I love
a sense of
that.
humor.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
like to think that I'm somewhat witty, and I wanted someone I could
banter.
banter with.
You're absolutely witty.
And thank you. Loyal, protective, trustworthy. Those were, I think, things that were on my list. I think Jansen hits all of those. But yeah, I never like wrote anything down list wise. It was just kind of in my head of like, oh, I think I like you.
Yeah.
We'll see where this can go.
That's good.
I love that.
I
You wrote a list.
I wrote a list for many
remember
reasons. I still have it.
Oh.
It's in one of my old journals. It was on a note, that kind of notepad where it was perforated at the top so you can like pull them off, so that I could do many pages of traits. My first page, all physical. The only thing that James does not have that's on that list is hair. And I don't mind it, because so I wrote the list when I was maybe 15, 14 with Heather. We both wrote our lists together.
Yeah.
Cute.
Started them together, and then we went home and we're like, oh, there's many more things that we could be adding to this. I wanted tall, dark, and handsome, and broad and muscly, and be protective, because I'm just a baby.
Yeah.
But I wasn't just a baby.
Just
I was
a 6 foot.
I was almost a 6 foot baby. So I really needed a much, much bigger man. And, they don't really breed those very often in Arizona. So I just knew he wasn't going to be here. All physical. And then all of my traits were the polar opposite of my father. I basically was like, what is my father? Cool. I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
And I got that. Exactly. I wanted someone gentle gentle-giant, someone protective, someone who wanted to fight for me and like saw me as his woman. And I got that exactly. I didn't think to pull out the list, mostly because I don't know. I'm married now. I don't care.
Yeah.
But he definitely does fit the list a lot. But I was going to say the hair piece. I was obsessed with. I wonder if you feel the same about the emo-ness. Whatever we were watching at the time that we were in our teens, we were attracted to that thing. Like that was the thing that we went out and tried to find in dating potentially.
Yeah.
Were you a Fall Out Boy girl? Kind of.
I wanted to be. I didn't really listen to
but like
a
that
ton
vibe.
of it. But yeah, like, and in my school, a lot of people were like skater
Yes.
boy.
I was going to say the skater boy aesthetic was very in our
Very
teenage
in.
years / like
And
junior
I
high
was-
teenagers. So yeah.
I was also very into it. So
Yeah. So in my era, the rocker boy was the thing that everyone was obsessed with. Like Foo Fighters started being really, really big.
Yeah.
In my millennial generation. The Pretender album came out and everyone was like, oh my God, Dave Grohl. I'm like, yeah, obviously. I've been here since Nirvana. He's hot. But then John Mayer started becoming really popular, and all these swaggy guys that were tall with great hair. I was like, and then Pride and Prejudice came out and everyone lost their damn minds at that Mr. Darcy. But yeah, when I moved to Seattle though, almost every guy that I dated was bald.
really?
I only dated maybe 2 or 3 guys that had a head of hair. The rest were bald. Very strange.
Yeah.
So it was almost like the universe saying, get used to this because this is the rest of your life. I'm into it.
Be prepared.
Do you his fuzzy little head?
Yeah.
Do
Can we
I have a
turn
list?
Yeah, can we turn the question around on you?
I feel like these days. Well, okay. I do have a list in. I can pull it up.
Oh.
I'll willingly. Pull
She's
this
like,
one up.
I have it bookmarked in my
So
phone.
when I was living in Bosnia and real sad, I made a list of not so much the person I wanted, but the things I wanted with that person.
Oh.
So I wrote back in the last time I edited it was November 3rd of 2021, which was right before I came home.
Yeah.
But it was that I wanted lazy Sundays and cozy blankets and a dog in a yard out back where we have our hammocks hung year round. I wanted reading on the front porch with music playing from in the house, cooking together, custom playlists made for whatever mood we're in that day.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
How gender neutral of you.
I know.
I love it.
I wanted inside jokes and secret glances at family dinners.
Dude, that is
Because
the best
yeah.
part of being married.
Yeah.
You're like,
I
are
want
you?
cozy.
I know you're thinking what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I want cozy Christmases at the house with our families. I want photos on my phone that I look at when I'm away from you.
Oh.
I want to not like the people you don't like.
That's also a great part of marriage.
Yep. I want long drives up north and camping and fires and dancing in the kitchen. I want to fight and hate the way that you do something differently than me. I want to fold laundry while we watch trash TV. And I want boring and comfortable vacations with my brother and sister and their spouses. I want to learn from you. I want to call you my wife, and I want to be your wife.
Oh.
That's so cute.
Oh my god.
Where are you at, bitch? Like, come on.
And it says at the end, I can't wait to meet you, and I hope I hope you're ready to know me.
Oh,
Oh.
very sweet.
Because
I love
I've
it.
always wanted to be married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanted to be a wife.
Partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will be.
Yeah. One day.
One day.
And it's gonna be so beautiful.
Yeah. Oh god. But yeah, that's my answer to that. So I've had that. I started that list when I was just like
In the depths.
in the depths, sad and alone, and slowly
Yeah.
starting to come out. And yeah.
Something to hope for.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Next.
Next. I do want to address that you both met your husbands online
Yeah, we did.
on the Tinders.
The Tinders.
You swiped.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You did it.
We won the game.
You won the game. I've been finding better luck with Hinge.
Yeah.
It's one of the newer ones, but I feel like people on there are more like
Interested in actually dating.
yes.
Well, and-
Relationships.
Can't you answer more questions on
Yes.
Hinge of like
the
what you're
profiles
looking
are
for?
much more detailed.
Yeah.
And you're dating women, so therefore you both are reading the profiles. Whereas if you were dating a man, he wouldn't.
No.
No.
Jansen says, I just was
James
I'm like, thank you. I
wasn't
feel so special.
so special. James said that he had just gotten back on it
Mhm.
because he had been internet dating someone for a while, like a crazy lady.
Oh.
That's a whole other story for another day because I talked to her. Whole other story for another day. But yeah, he had just gotten on it and he was in the city for a meeting with 24 Hour Fitness downtown because he lived in Linwood. So
Yeah.
both of our mileage was set to very close to where we lived for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And he was swiping while on the toilet.
Cute.
Cute.
Love it.
Hey, you know, you
During the
spend
meeting.
a decent chunk of your life on the
Totally. And he swiped while he was in the city. I swiped while he was there. Rest is history.
Cute.
Random.
Did you have marriages that you watched growing up where you thought that's what I want when I grow up? What about those marriages did you like?
You go first.
I yes and no. And I feel like this for both sides of it of ones I looked at
Mm-hmm.
and wanted to copy
Mm-hmm.
and ones that I didn't. So I feel like I'm answering both sides
That's
of the
okay.
question.
No, that's fine.
Because I don't know if I ever really looked at marriages and thought,
No, thank you.
mm-mm. I don't want that.
Hard
But
pass.
I think for ones that I wanted, I think I did look at my parents' marriage a lot because they've been married for a long time
Yeah.
and they've done every inch of life together.
Yeah.
And And I thought that's how my marriage would be, in the respect of we're going to work together. We're going to live everywhere we go, we'll be together.
Yeah.
And when we have downtime, we'll be together. And when we're busy, we'll be together. Like, I thought we would just be inseparable.
Yeah. Attached to the hip.
And that is not what Jansen had in mind.
No.
I learned that is not a very common thing in relationships, and that it is also very nice. And I have learned, I was very immature when I got married because I was young, but I grew up and learned that alone time is good. We need to have our own.
So good.
We need to have our own interests. They can be similar, but like we need to do things by ourselves.
And be your own. Sorry, I keep hitting this with my nails.
That's okay.
You need to be your own human.
Yeah.
And have your own interests. And it's okay if all your interests are not his interests.
Yeah. However, since we now both work from home.
Yeah.
We're working on things together. We do spend a lot more time. So I feel like we have kind of come back to that a little bit. But our jobs, our day-to-day jobs are different. We don't work in the same place. So we do have these things that are not shared with each other, which I think balances it out a little bit.
I like that.
Yeah.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both, but I think it set me up kind of for an unrealistic expectation of what I was walking into, and there was a steep learning curve.
You basically described most marriages in the 90s, watching our boomer and Gen X parents think that is how you do marriage, especially in a Christian setting.
Yeah.
You are a unit. You are now bonded together and you must never separate. And you are other halves of that person. And what you do affects what I do. And your people's opinion of you is also their opinion of me.
And we're both in this working for the same goal.
Yes.
And so we have to work together for this outcome because it's the same.
So unrealistic.
Yeah.
For modern day life.
Yeah.
Couldn't ever, which is why growing up, I looked at marriages that were the opposite of what was being told to me was what I should want. Instead, I looked at very odd marriages like my great aunt and uncle in Seattle. Not odd, but just not the norm, you know? Yeah. They had kids a lot older in life. They both had very distinct careers and they're both business owners in their own right. They have lived very separate lives, but when they're together, they are absolutely together. Yeah. They are Greg and Sue and they are loved as Greg and Sue, but they could exist completely apart. They don't go on vacations together very often. They usually go on trips by themselves with friends, which I kind of love. They've always been like that too. And they just did things funkier. And
they like different things.
Yeah.
And they're so okay with it.
Totally okay with it. But they're polar opposite kinds of people. But together they make just this quirky goodness that I loved. And I also remember people that I lovingly am related to didn't like their marriage, thought it was abnormal, thought it was wrong, and would tell me the reasons why it was wrong and why what they were doing was not what I should do or want. And I, as a very stubborn Virgo, said, actually, no, that sounds nice to me. Having an abnormal concept of marriage sounds fun to me, which is, we have other questions about our relationships now. It's why James and Mai's relationship isn't it is a very atypical marriage and relationship just based on like what we want for our futures. Yeah. And I got exactly that. I remember I just don't have a lot of marriages in my childhood that I respected or lovingly looked at. So I found a lot of what I wanted in movies and TV. Yeah. I wanted to be certain types of couples or certain types of marriages in movies and TV that were completely fantasy. However, I knew that I was capable of big love, like a big movie love. And I was definitely going to wait for that person to appear, which is also why I dangerously dated with people who were not great for me.
Yeah.
Just for the drama of it all and for the plot. But
Do it for the book.
do it for the book. That was a lot of my dating, was doing it for the book.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't want something normal. I didn't want to be barefoot in the kitchen. And therefore, I needed to find someone who wanted to be just as abnormal with me. And
Yeah.
I found that. For sure.
Is there a specific show or movie that you were like, that was the relationship I wanted?
I know mine.
What's yours?
Ben and Leslie from Parks and Rec.
I don't
Oh.
watch Parks and Rec.
They're
They
so-
just like, first of all, they were kind of this like enemies to lovers thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they were just this slow burn of seeing each other
Yeah.
and loving the things about each other that the world said were stupid or weird or whatever,
Yeah.
were the things that drew them together. And I, similar to, don't really think about like the real life marriages that I saw growing up. I more think about the shows and movies that
Oh,
I
funny.
watched and or the books that I read.
Yeah.
And that is one couple that I think about. Like their wedding episode makes me cry every single time because their vows to each other and just they say, oh man, what is it that they say? Oh, I love you and I like you.
Oh.
And that has always been a part of that list too, of like, I want to like you.
Yeah.
I want to love you and like you.
Yeah.
And the fact, and they do
And there's a difference.
have that like we work together kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But towards later seasons they
Yeah.
have more separation. But yeah.
Before Jansen and I ever told each other that we loved each other, we would always just say, I really like you.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
really like you. And then we were like, you know what we're trying to say when we say
Yeah.
this? Like, yeah.
Because you do, James and I did kind of the same thing where we would put the emphasis on really. Like,
Yeah.
I really like you.
Yeah.
Forcefully love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sex in the City.
I don't know why, but in my mind, I was like, this is what she's going to say.
Yeah.
It's so toxic, but it's so
I
true.
was like, do any of them have successful relationships?
No, which is why I do love that show. It's very realistic in that none of their relationships are super successful. It's also why I have boycotted the Just Like That series because you killed off Big. Like you didn't even give us one season where we got to see Carrie and Big be in love, but spoilers.
They also
I mean,
just-
if you haven't seen that Peloton killed Big at this point, I don't know where you're living, basically under a rock. But I didn't start watching Sex and the City until the last season was airing because I wasn't allowed to watch it. So I snuck it. And Carrie and Big, they are endgame. They are abnormal AF. They do not, they never wanted a typical marriage or a typical relationship. And yes, it's Hollywood and fantasy and writing, but I just loved how he wanted her to be just Carrie as long as possible and do her own damn thing. And eventually those two worlds came together and he got to be a part of building up Carrie. And I loved that. And I also loved that their relationship was older. They didn't meet until she was she was 35 in the show. And they didn't get married until she was 45 in the show. And I loved how weird and abnormal and very New York their relationship was.
Yeah.
Toxic as it may be, I do love them.
But they very much also had that, not will they, won't they, but the kind of that, but it's the right person, wrong timing.
Time. Yes, absolutely.
Over and
Oh
over
my
again.
God. Wait, this is, okay, hold on. I'm having a realization.
Yeah.
Because my other one is the Barbra Streisand movie, The Way We Were, which is also referenced multiple times in Sex and the City. There's this moment where the girls are all in a bar and Samantha has never seen The Way We Were. So Charlotte, Miranda, and Carrie start talking about it of just like this moment in the movie where she's at the hotel, Barbra Streisand's at the hotel that he's getting married to his next wife. And he comes over to her and he stands in front of her. And it's just this pure sadness moment of like, it just couldn't have been us. We tried so long and it just never fit right. The puzzle pieces never fit right. And she brushes his hair aside and she says, "Your girl is lovely," and then she walks away. And walks into Central Park, and then the movie ends. And that's totally Carrie and Big of just this, it never should have been, but it always should have been. And I love it.
Yeah.
I think these all also go back to Bailey's romanticizing
Yeah, romanticizing.
of New York.
Which is weird because I've always said I would never live in New York because
Yeah.
I think that it's very claustrophobic for me. And there's
Yeah.
just a lot of people. But I have,
You've Got Mail,
I know.
The Way We Were,
Sex in the City.
Sex in the City.
I know. And I do love it. I love visiting New York.
Yeah.
The energy there is something else.
I
Maybe-
could never live there.
And my astrocartography says that I should live on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Next question.
Thank you.
I didn't. My couple
sorry.
was.
I'm sorry.
I always felt like Doug and Carrie from
Yeah.
The King of Queens.
King of Queens.
Yes. You love the King.
Because it was the sitcom I was allowed to watch.
Yeah.
And so I would watch, there would be 2 episodes every day on TBS, and I'd come home from school and I'd watch those episodes. And they just had more so in the beginning than in like the end, because do either of you know how it ends?
I don't know how it
No.
ends.
Oh, they like get separated and like
Oh.
they are just fighting a lot in the end, and then
That's so sad. I
they
didn't know that.
yeah.
That's how the show
I
ends?
think they end up coming back together. They decide after they've been separated that like they should be back together, but like she moves out, she gets an apartment,
Oh my
and
gosh.
then she moves back home but doesn't tell him that she kept the apartment.
Oh.
But like early King of Queens
the OG.
where they're just having fun together, they
Yeah.
banter, like I am not this person, but like is this bold
fiery.
firecracker, but they complement each other so well,
Yeah.
and they know like what the other person needs, and so because the first episode he gets a new TV and is having it delivered, whatever, but she works it out to have it delivered early so he can have this fun man cave come to life.
Cute.
And she invites all of his friends over, and she's like, the guys are here, your TV's downstairs, like, and she just like,
Oh, that's sweet.
yeah.
I love that.
And then her dad moves in, and then
he loses his man cave.
yeah,
Sad.
yeah. So I always
Cute.
like that. But anyways,
One of my favorite clips of that show is from they're in the kitchen and he's asking where the scissors are. And she just goes off. She's like, for 15 years, they've been in this drawer. And every time you've ever needed them, you've asked me, where are the scissors? And they have not moved.
yes,
They're still in the drawer.
yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
Alrighty. When did you know you wanted to marry your person or knew you'd found your person? Was there a specific moment that you said, oh yeah, I'm gonna marry this boy?
You first.
I don't think I knew,
Mhm.
but I, from the very beginning, was pretty convinced that like this is gonna be different and this is gonna go somewhere.
Oh. You have your journal.
Exhibit A.
Oh my God. Wait, look at her writing.
For Liz, I know it's so perfectly spaced. It's
Holy crap,
Insane.
that looks like a typewriter.
yeah. For non-visual listeners, Kelly has the journal that she wrote for the first year and a half that her and Jansen started dating, and then to the right until up to the when they got engaged.
So March 24th, 2015.
Okay. March 24th, 2015.
I'm just going to pick like little pieces up. So I recently re-downloaded Tinder. Kind of lame, I know, but I started talking to a boy that seems pretty nice, I think. He kind of makes me nervous, though I can't really tell what he wants yet. I wish I wasn't self-conscious, but maybe there's good reason for it. I just want to feel comfortable. Is that too much to ask for?
Oh.
March 27th. Sorry.
You're fine. Take your
March
time.
27th, 2015. The week seems to be flying by, which is slightly terrifying, but also pretty exciting. I met a boy. I kind of really like him, but it's still really early, so who knows what will happen. What's his name, you may ask? Because I talked to my journal like it's a human.
I did the same thing.
Jansen.
Oh.
He makes me smile a whole lot, and we went out and saw a movie on Wednesday. I feel really comfortable around him, and it's kind of weird. We're very similar. That kind of freaks me out, but I'm really excited to see where this could go, and you never know what might happen. I think I'm meeting his mom tonight. Seems quick, but that makes me nervous.
Jesus, she's like,
And then you met his
the whole
entire
family.
March 30th. Well. I really, really like Jansen. I go on, but it's not important. And then I met his mom and sisters last night. I think they're nice. I hope they liked me.
I did.
So yeah, I was very excited about him and you guys. And I talk about him a whole lot because I was just very excited that I liked him so much.
Oh.
And then in July 11th, 2015.
Oh my gosh.
I'm on cloud 9.
Oh, stop it.
Last night, Jansen very seriously told me he wants to marry me. I was so happy when he told me that because I really want to marry him too. I can't imagine what life would be like without him and what it would be like to get to spend the rest of my life with him. I think it'd be pretty great.
Stop it.
So,
oh my gosh, Kelly, I
we
love that you
started
have that.
we started dating in end of March.
And by
April, May, June, July. 4 months in, I was like, that's
I'm
my
done.
person.
That's my dude. I love it. You guys crying.
Sorry.
Crying on the dance floor. Crying in the club.
But I made mention of when I met you guys, which was obviously the first week of us. We weren't even officially
No.
dating. I think we had just said, let's be boyfriend, girlfriend.
My gosh. That's
And then
amazing.
You guys were home.
Hey.
Because we're boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah.
So, Barbie movie.
So cute.
So 4 months in and I knew.
Yeah.
But what about you, babe?
Okay. James and I swiped right, but he had Rob, his son, full time. So coming down to the city was a little more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't meet right away, which was very much against my Tinder rules because I worked Tinder
Girl, same.
like
Mhm.
nobody's business.
Like it was a business.
I had a system because one thing that I did not like is wasted time.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an expensive time at that time. Okay, and I hated messaging for an extended period of time and then meeting. So I would message for one day and say, okay, when are we going out? And if they weren't interested, I'd be like, okay, bye, we're done. But for some reason, this dude was entertaining AF. And I was
He's
like,
a good texter.
He's a very good texter. He's a very good caller. He loves talking on the phone. Loves it. We talked on the phone the first day that we swiped.
Oh.
And I swiped and I reached out to him first and I asked for his number within 20 minutes of messaging back and forth on Tinder. I was like, yeah, this one's interesting. I went to Boston with a friend and quit my job while I was in Boston.
Always Boston.
Always Boston. And I said, okay, we have to meet when I get back because this is very much against my rules. We should have already met at this point. And he's like, okay, we'll figure it out. So we met on Easter Sunday. I wore black leather pants, my trench coat, and this really cute, sexy top. And this dude meets me in Capitol Hill of Seattle. Now, if you've never been to Seattle, Capitol Hill is the gayest neighborhood. It is also the hippest neighborhood. It's like where his hipsterdom began.
Yeah.
And everyone, you go out of your doors and you are walking
It's a fashion show.
a fashion show.
Yeah.
If now, granted, tech has taken over Seattle, so the puffer vests have multiplied and not a lot of people are fashion oriented, but there was a time before the pandemic where it was the thing.
Yeah.
So I was on my game. This dude walks up the hill to my apartment. I'm like sitting in this little park outside my apartment waiting for him. We're going to go watch a Mariners game at my favorite sports bar. And he's in Dickies cargo pants, cargo shorts, of course. He has a Newsies cap on.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
He loves a flat cap.
He only has one. He's never worn this since we got engaged.
I'll only say yes if. No.
A Mariners jersey and his dad's blue work jacket. And then he goes, "Hi!" And it echoes around the entire neighborhood.
Because he is a Muppet of a man.
He is a Muppet of a man. And
in the best, absolute
he has
best
this
way.
huge smile. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my guy. And I just remember hugging him and being like, I'm going to hug him for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I don't know what about him said that, but I was just like, I immediately felt so safe and so loved, even though we were just meeting for the first time. And of course, I didn't tell him that. But what proceeded over the next couple months was just me being so immediately in love with this person and just waiting for him to figure it out. And he figured it out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of knew by date 1 that he was very different and that we were going to be together for a long time, forever, potentially. Yeah. By month 3, it was forever.
Yeah.
Because we had this one date where I left my phone in an Uber. And very quickly, he figured it out with me and problem solved. And I had never had a guy care enough to like problem solve with me. I was always the problem solver.
Yeah.
And the one that would figure out how to do the things. And he wanted to help figure it out with me and not take care of me, not step in, but like partner with me.
Yeah.
And that was the day that I was like, okay, we're getting married.
Yeah.
It's not just we're going to be together for a long time. It's that I'm going to marry this man. So yeah.
Jansen says that he knew, like, as I was walking up towards him, because he got there first, and I, like, sat in my car for a little bit because I was a little nervous.
A little nervy?
And just, like, I don't know what's going to come of this, but he says, whether it's true or not, I don't know, that me walking up to him, he was like, if she's anything like I think she's going to be, it's going to be her. She's going to be the person I end up marrying. But I do think that going to meet him was very different than meeting anyone else because there was this weird sense of calm of like, I know you.
Yeah.
And him and I had not been talking very long.
Right.
It was just a matter of days that we swiped. We texted a little bit and then we're like, let's, because I was also of the same mindset of let's figure out if we mesh at all and
don't waste my time.
Move on if not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say when I knew about your people.
Oh, interesting. Yes.
Yours was after that
meeting.
30th, whatever, like when you had to meet all of us.
I walked into your mom's bedroom.
Yep.
You were all on the bed.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And I stood at the end of the bed. And I was just like, this is happening.
Yeah.
And I
also remember
silently
when Jansen
judged you. I was looking you up and down that entire time like, the does she think she is?
I did you know?
I don't know. You held your own, and I just in that moment was like, if you can hold your own, in this
room,
welcome,
bro.
And then, but even before I had met you, Jansen came home from that first date.
Yeah.
And I just kind of remember looking at, like, I was in the living room when he came in through the garage door, and I just remember looking at him and going like, oh, I don't know why I knew he was going on a date, but I just knew. And just remember looking at him.
He had a different,
he just seemed so
aura,
confident and glowy, and especially like after the girlfriend before you, and so that. But anyways,
she who must not be named.
When did you know for James and Bailey?
James was that first visit when you came out for all of your birthdays. And
when we came down.
Yes, when you came down for the first time. Because that was my first time meeting him.
Right.
And it was before that Christmas that he spent with us.
Yeah.
This was that fall because he came down for us to celebrate everybody's birthdays.
Yeah.
And we were standing in Oso, which is another brewery in Phoenix.
Oh, my fave. And
I just remember like just watching him with you and watching him with our family, and I'm not gonna cry again. I'm gonna cry again.
He makes me cry all the time.
Yeah. Just watching him quietly protect you And it like just seeing that he saw us,
Yeah.
and saw our family in a way that nobody had before,
And entered in.
yeah.
Yeah. Because, granted, the man that I brought to your wedding,
He who must not be named.
he who must not be named,
was not that.
was not that, and did
Was
not
not
enter
enter
in,
in.
and could care less about me
Yeah.
or my family or anything
Yeah.
that was going on with me. So
I honestly can't confidently say I know what he looks like.
that's good.
Okay.
It wasn't much to look at.
I unfortunately can't.
Unfortunately, that's burned in my mind for the rest of my life.
Because that was the only time I'd ever met him.
Yeah.
At your wedding. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
I spent a lot of time.
I was busy though, so I
that's good.
Yeah.
You're like, I have other things to worry about.
got to get
Yeah.
things ready. Yeah.
Anyways, that's all I wanted
I
to add
love
to that
it.
part, was that
That's so cute.
I knew too.
Cute.
Kelli.
Kelli.
I'm nervous.
7 years of marriage, nearly a decade with your mans.
Yeah.
What has changed about your relationship? What has stayed the same? And what are you excited about for the next 7 years?
So, what I think has changed is I think Jansen has too. Grown up
Mm-hmm.
a lot.
You were 23.
Like I mentioned, yeah. I was
He was
23, he was
25.
25.
Babies.
So, as I mentioned, I was very immature in our beginning of our marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And that led to also, I think, helped aid in our first year of marriage being rough.
Mm.
We were just trying to figure out life. We both got new jobs within the first few months of our marriage. And I feel like we felt like we had to prove something
Mm-hmm.
with being successfully married. But I was just a child and selfish. And I think I didn't know how to be married.
Yeah.
You were 23.
Yeah. I was still figuring out who I think I'm
Yeah.
still figuring out who I am.
Yeah.
But
Cannot imagine
Mm-mm.
23-year-old me being married.
Mm-mm.
it was a big choice.
Yeah.
But I think it helped me grow up in ways that I didn't know I needed.
Mm.
So I'm glad that has not stayed the same and
Mhm.
something that I have learned from.
Yeah.
Something that I am glad that has stayed the same throughout our marriage is I think we complement each other very well,
Mhm.
and we are able to know what the other person needs
Yeah.
in whatever moment
100%.
it is. So if we're having fun, although sometimes I don't understand his joking still, and then I get defensive.
A Virgo.
So I'm like, that's not funny. He's like, it's a joke. I'm like, he's like, you should know by now that I'm joking. I'm like, I know.
They
but
say things so matter-of-factly
I know.
when they're kidding.
We're a little pointed and
Yeah.
intense. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm learning still, but I think we balance each other out well.
Yeah.
And I think we know how to have fun with each other, and we know what the other person needs.
Yeah.
To some degree. So if I know you're having a bad day, and this is also something that I wasn't good at in the beginning,
Mm.
even when we were dating, like, I know you need your time because that's how you recharge, and you like to be a hermit and you like to be alone, and I do not. But I think I've learned how to give him his space.
Yeah.
And when he needs it and he's having a day, I know, like, it's not towards me.
No.
I'm going to just
Don't take it
remove
personally.
myself from the situation
Yeah.
because you're having a moment, and he does the same for me because I'm just as moody.
Yeah. When I have found in my own dating life, that age range was scarcity mindset dating, where I couldn't get enough, and I knew that it had an end date, and I needed to just get as much love and like out of a person because I knew they wouldn't last.
Yeah.
And I could not even imagine having the people that I was going out with when I was 23. If I had
Yeah.
married, and one would have been divorced many times over, and or would have unalived myself, TBH.
Yeah.
Like that was a dark period of time, but
Mhm.
the never having enough time together, I think that when you are that young and getting married, you just feel like you can't get enough of your person. And I can see that in you. But as you've matured over the last 10 years, you have placed Kelli and Jansen have now, like, you have your own pillars.
Yeah.
And you can still spend time in that world with him, but you've also seen the goodness that comes out of spending time with Kelli.
Yeah.
And honing your own self so that you can come together and be a great equal unit. You know, it's awesome.
Yeah.
What are you excited for the next 7?
Next 7. I'm just excited to keep doing the thing.
Good.
I think we have dreams
Yeah.
and aspirations
Yeah.
of where we want this to go.
Yeah.
I'm excited to just go on more adventures, I think, because I think that's something that we haven't had a ton of opportunity to do.
Yeah.
Whether it's just been timing wise, money wise, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But just getting to play and continue to grow and grow ourselves, but also be able to continue to come together and say, even though we're parallel,
Yeah. You're on your own
we
trajectory.
might kind of alter a little bit, but
Yeah.
we can still come together and we're still gonna put in whatever we need to stay together.
To be Jansen and Kelli.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
J&K.
The Collins.
Bailey. Holla.
holla.
Thank you for being here today. My wage is what brings us together. You were approaching your first anniversary
Wild.
and your 5-year dating anniversary. This is
Very strange.
You did like a self-read. This is the longest relationship you've ever been in.
Well, so when I do the prep questions for you guys, I'm basically prepping myself as I write them. So that's why they are a little lengthy.
It's okay. But what I want to ask, what has surprised you about being married? And did it change anything in your relationship? Or did it stay the same?
Yeah.
And along with that, what do you think the next 5 years look like for you guys? What do you hope for in the next 5 years?
Yeah. So, not to be mean or compare myself to you,
It's fine.
but my first year of marriage, bomb.com.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah. You're also a decade older.
I am a decade older
she
than you
was
were when you got married.
Yeah.
Over a decade. Ew. I got married at 33, but now I'm 34. So,
So we got married at like
10
similar
years apart.
time.
Yeah.
Because we're both born in September. We both got married March, April. So yeah.
Best friends for life.
Yeah.
BFFs.
I underestimated how good marriage can be and how much it can change and shift your relationship for the better. There is, I don't know, I think I downplayed like how good it could be because all of my physical reminders and examples of marriage were so toxic throughout my life that I think I assumed the worst. I'm a pessimist, so I'm like, it either won't change anything, will just be the same, or I'm not going to like it for the first few years.
Yeah.
The reality was, damn, I'll like it. And it changed everything. I was just talking to a friend of mine who also got married in this last year, and they had been with their partner for a long time before getting married too. And there's something about people getting married after dating a chunk of years that is so sweet these days. I love celebrating relationships like that because it's defines a season. It's almost like we're graduating and we get to take this chunk of history with us to help create the next chunk of history, which is so fun. But my love for him completely changed and shifted and grew, and I underestimated how powerful that love can be, and that love can change, which is so fun.
Yeah.
But also so much has happened to us in the first year of marriage. We moved in September before our wedding in March, got married in March, went on our honeymoon 2 days after we got married, came back less than 2 months later. I got fired and everything changed again. He also started his new job a month after we got back from our honeymoon. So his entire life changed because the job before that, he had been in it for 16 years. Yeah. His whole adulthood was at that last job. Yeah. And he raised someone during that entire time. So like his life shifted significantly in the last 2 years, where he now has time to be James and figure out who James is and what James likes and what James wants to spend time doing, which is, right now it's making bread.
And he's only 40.
And he's only 40. And I think the same mindset for us of now we're in our 30s, we have so much life ahead of us. He hit 40 and got married again and jumped into this life that he had always dreamed of, traveling, being in a partnership that's encouraging, having a cheerleader of a wife that says you can do anything you want to do, and vice versa. Yeah. Neither of us have had that. And being married shifted that for us, where we now have this security that no one's going anywhere. And we can build something together. That's why in our vows, we talked about our empires, which was completely, neither of us talked about what we were going to talk about in our vows. Yeah. We wrote them completely separate from each other. I wrote mine on the way to the wedding. Whoopsies.
On the patio of the hotel while we were all getting ready.
The patio. I mostly wrote them in the car though, because I could not focus with everybody around while we were getting ready. So Heather, while on the freeway, I was like, play some Foo Fighters. She played some Foo Fighters and I wrote those damn vows within that 15, 20-minute drive and finished them up when we got there. And yeah, we both separately talked about the empires that we're going to build together. Yeah. And I freaking loved that because it just totally set the tone for our first year of marriage, of needing to kind of armor up and go to battle of life, but together. Yeah. It's awesome. The next 5 years. Yeah. So this is my longest relationship. Good job, James.
Beat the odds.
Woo! The next 5 years are a big old question mark of what on earth is going to happen. And that is the best thing for me. Yeah. A Virgo without a plan can be terrifying, but if a Virgo is supported by others that love her, trajectory unknown, but it's going to be great. Like, let the rocket ship fly kind of mentality. And I think that's what the next 5 years will be. I am trying to not put a bunch of parameters on it because that's what I've done my whole life. And I'm definitely not going to do that to my marriage either. Now, day to day, we'll see. But I am excited to just build because we're not having kids and that is set in stone. He's had a vasectomy. I don't think I've said that on the podcast, but there will be no babies unless we're adopting them. That's why the Kroger ad, we watched a Kroger ad during Patreon, and it's about a couple who get all of their exchange students to come for Christmas. I cried because I'm like, I would love that. Yeah. To have connection with people in other countries and like have them make memories with us and see James and I as like our weird American parents that we need to go visit on Christmas. I would die. That would be amazing. And that's what I want for our future. Like this quirky, odd, unconventional love that people enjoy around us. That's what I want for the next 5 years. Yeah. That's
cool. Love it. Well, y'all give me some hope that maybe one day.
Yeah. It'll happen, boo-boo.
Yeah. It's just so crazy because at 23, I really did think I would probably be married by now.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Prior to meeting Jansen, I thought by 23 I'd have 2 or 3 kids and have been married for a little bit.
And that's what the literal 30? God complex will do.
Or that's what I thought by 20. I thought I'd be married before 2021.
Whoa!
Not that I had anyone in my life that whatever. But in my mind, I was like, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to get married really fast and I'm going to have babies really fast.
Wow. Could never.
Wow.
And we're really glad that didn't happen.
Yeah. Yes, we are. We are. Now we just have fur babies.
Yeah. Spoiled.
Well, that was so fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for talking marriage. Thanks for interviewing us and hosting. I love it. We want to hear about your where are you at relationship wise? What are you dreaming for if you're in a relationship?
Are you a Halsey?
Or are you a Halsey? And if you're in a relationship or in a marriage, what excites you about the next 5 years? Because I'm interested in hearing what people's dreams are for themselves and for their partnerships.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments, both on Podcast World and or YouTube. If you are watching this on either, please subscribe, rate, review, and comment. We would love to have more conversations with you and discuss the discourse of the love down below.
So much.
And if you like this, but you want a spicier version, then you head on over to patreon.com and search Blood and Contracts or Blood and Contracts Podcast and pay $5 foot long.
Any.
There it is. Because we do 2 other shows on there. We post one every week. We also do behind the scenes content, downloadables that Kelli designs, and much, much more to come. And lastly, we had a new show debut on our YouTube in the last month prior. There's probably like 3 or 4 episodes for you to catch up on at this point on the Blood and Contracts YouTube page. It's called Contract Kitchen. It's Kelli's show that she hosts, and she has guests on right now. I'm guest hosting with her to get us started, but we have lots of fun plans.
Yeah.
Recipe testing, competitions with James in the kitchen, all kinds of stuff. Because we just wanted to play in the food world.
Yeah.
Why not?
And we like to eat.
I like to eat. And we mess up too. We
a lot. So
literally spit out something we ate 2 nights ago. And boy, was it nasty.
Boy, howdy.
we didn't spit it out though.
No, we swallowed.
Oh.
On that note, hey, sister by contract.
That's me.
Her name's Kelli. Love you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming
Anytime.
to talk about your marriage. Sister by blood.
Eat me.
Halsey.
Thanks
for coming, giving us your
welcome.
tears, your cancer tears.
Losing a nail.
She falling apart, folks. My name is Bailey, and you've been listening to Blood and Contracts. We'll see you on the next one.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.